everybody, and welcome to this special on Venus transiting in Gemini. So when Venus moves into Gemini, it's out of bounds. So Venus enters Gemini on the 12th of June and stays there until the 6th of July when it enters Cancer. So Venus in Gemini, imagine them as a dynamic duo, bringing a vibrant and dynamic energy to our relationships and personal expression. Gemini is known for its intellect, curiosity, flexibility, on the word scattered thinking and so forth, which I'll go on more about as I talk more about Venus in Gemini. And Venus is the planet of love, beauty and harmony. So when these qualities are merged and fused together into our romantic connections and creative plans, they encourage us to explore different perspectives, engage in meaningful conversations, and seek out diverse new experiences. So, under the influence of Venus in Gemini, our social interactions can become more light-hearted and playful as we gravitate towards witty banter and being open to be intellectually tickled and stimulated. Also, it can be an increase in communication, especially in the flirting, hookup, sexting realms, Also, there can be an increase in exchanging ideas about beauty, cooking, values, money, status, possession, stuff like that. It's also a good energy for networking and socialising, and it wants us and can inspire us to become more flexible in the matters of our heart and love, and allows us to appreciate the beauty and variety of things, even appreciating saying, oh, that's beautiful, and before we may not have found that thing beautiful, and it just allows us to be more open-minded, spontaneous, and connect with others on both a mental, psychological, spiritual, deeper emotional level, and also, just creates a sense of curiosity about romance and excitement and just life itself. From a practical perspective, it encourages us to engage in open and stimulating conversations, which can create intellectual growth and increase our communication skills. We can find ourselves more inclined to explore different viewpoints and seek out diverse experiences and expand our horizons and broaden our understanding of the world around us and the people in it. So practically, it highlights the importance of effective communication and listening. So, creating safe space, making ourselves clear and direct, maybe planning our communication, writing it down, checking it, thinking before we say things. It's a good time to engage in, joining groups or attending workshops to enhance your communication skills and create personal growth, because, we have to tend to the garden for it to be well maintained, It emphasises the importance of charm, charisma, and persuasive communication skills in achieving worldly success, but we just have to remember to do it with the guidelines and not manipulate people and deceive them and so on, or, be aware that we can be deceived by persuasive communication and charisma at this time, and just being alert, be open, but don't ignore red flags as well. We may also focus more on acquiring material possessions, indulging in luxury and enjoying the finer things in life. Financial opportunities can come up due to social connections, partnerships or negotiations. It's good for all kinds of sales, marketing, work, pitching. It wants us to find a balance between meeting our material needs and desires and building genuine connections and having genuine experiences with others and in the world and with ourselves, reminding us that true abundance comes from both material wealth and meaningful relationships. It's a favourable time to engage in business ventures, marketing strategies and financial investments that align with your values and passions. Finding a way to navigate the realm of, feeling material abundant while also maintaining a sense of balance by not overspending and overdoing it, and also being authentic by staying in line with your own personal values. So politically, because Gemini is known for its intellectual curiosity, flexibility and ability to see multiple perspectives, other people's points of views, putting yourself in other people's shoes and stuff and their experiences. Because even, we have this we say, oh, if I was that person, I wouldn't do this, or, but what we have to understand is even if we put ourselves in someone else's shoes, sometimes we put ourselves in their shoes still thinking like ourselves, but we have to put ourselves in their shoes thinking like them. And so realising that only because we made certain life choices doesn't make another person particularly right and wrong, and coming to realise as we progress into adulthood, 30 plus and stuff, when we're in our 18 to 30, I believe we have experiences. This is the time when we make mistakes. We learn from them. We learn from the costly mistakes. Some people are smart. They're ahead of the curve, they learn from other people's mistakes, but this has its pitfalls because sometimes this can make you cold and cut off and overly logical. So there's pros and cons to every method, every path in life. So ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that we just have to try and have more of a willingness to understand that we're all different, and this is okay. And political leaders, when Venus is in Gemini, may have more lively debates, more diversity in their opinions, and a greater willingness to engage in conversation, having more effective communication and persuasive talk more than ever to connect with the public. And the emphasis on social connections during Venus in Gemini may lead to increased teamwork, collaboration and negotiation among political parties and different factions and leaders and communities, and even in relationships, family relationships, whatever, But the mutable nature of Gemini may also bring some unpredictability and inconsistency to the political arena, as alliances and positions may shift more frequently. So just have to watch out for that. In terms of spiritual and esoteric insights, so now I'm going to talk about the spiritual and esoteric insights of Venus in Gemini. So during this transit, there can be a heightened potential to engage in deep spiritual reflection and gain new insights into the mysteries of existence. The energy of Venus adds a touch of harmony and grace to this process, allowing us to approach our spiritual journey with a sense of openness and receptivity. The influence of Gemini means that we may find ourselves drawn to diverse spiritual practices, teachings and philosophies, eager to expand our understanding of the universe and our place within it. It embraces us to embrace the power of knowledge and exploration as we seek profound spiritual and esoteric truths, and through contemplation, meditation and the pursuit of wisdom, we can unlock hidden layers of consciousness and discover profound insights that can transform our spiritual paths. So in terms of the psychological effects of Venus in Gemini, there can be a tendency to analyse emotions and relationships from a detached perspectives. People can prefer logic and reason over intense emotional connections, because when Venus is in Gemini, and people want to express their affection and love through communication more, using words, poetry, gestures, intellectual engagement as a means of connection. So wanting a bit more than the superficial, although the superficial can be involved. So it's important to be mindful of the potential for restlessness and indecisiveness during this transit, as the Gemini influence can sometimes lead to a lack of commitment or a tendency to seek over excitement and novelty and just doing things for the bants, for the sake of it. On the symbolic level, it encourages us to express ourselves more creatively and use new ways of expressing ourselves. And symbolism itself can become a powerful tool for communication. So in the base level, using things like emojis, and a deeper level, using deep esoteric concepts or parables and stuff like that to convey your thoughts, emotions and experiences. Also using art, writing and other forms of creative expression like dance to get your message across. It sort of inspires a sense of playfulness and experimentation, allowing us to tap into our imagination and embrace our unique perspectives. The symbol-rich nature of Gemini amplifies the power of creative manifestation, inviting us to explore various mediums and push the boundaries of our artistic plans, encouraging our inner artist and creative to express itself authentically. And by doing this, we can contribute to the rich and vibrant cultural landscape that Venus in Gemini pushes us towards. So I just want to talk a bit more about the emotional intensity that can come up when Venus is in Gemini. We may find ourselves experiencing a wider range of emotions and just feeling them more intensely than normal, because this transit brings an increase in a sense of passion and depth to our relationships, both romantic and platonic. So emotions can be expressed with more enthusiasm, and we can just have a desire for deeper connections and understanding. So in summary, on an emotional level, there can be a tendency to overanalyze our feelings, so we want to watch for that, because we can seek more intellectual and other stimulation in our emotional interactions right now, and this can bring a sense of restlessness and a desire for more variety in our emotional experiences, so we can go over the top. So it's important to embrace and explore your intense emotions while staying grounded, so that you can get the optimum benefits for your personal growth and understanding. So now I'm just going to sum up the overall top positives, negatives and best uses of Venus in Gemini. So positively, as I said, increases our charm and wit. It makes it easier for us to connect with others, but we can be too in love with being superficial right now and be indecisive in the matters of our heart, and we can just be fickle and restlessness, and we have to watch out for spreading information without fact checking and gossiping and just spreading ourselves too thinly socially, just playing too hard, ignoring your work and other commitments. If you're in a committed relationships right now and you keep on going out after work, or just ignoring work altogether, some of you may be like, forget it, I don't want to work no more, quit my job, and I just want to party sort of thing, and this can cause tension in your relationships as well. So just try and make the best decisions, and the best use of this energy is to engage in stimulating conversations, do researching, and enhance your communication skills, and just be open to embracing the diversity of meeting new people and socialising, but remember to stay grounded and do not do too much as well. Now I'm going to talk about the aspects that Venus is making when it enters Gemini this year. So Venus makes a conjunction to the Sun, so this allows us to be more creative and be more sort of like allow people to be drawn to us, and we can be drawn to others like moths to a flame right now. But negatively, because it's separating at the time of Venus is going into Gemini, the Sun's conjunction to Venus can diminish our creativity and self-expression during the latter part of Venus's transit in Gemini. So for the first 10 days to 2 weeks you may feel fine, and the final weeks of Venus in Gemini you may just feel, I can't be bothered now, because you've done too much, to just try and pace yourself. Mercury's conjunction to Venus also supports us in communicating well in our discussions and understanding each other, but it can really amplify us overthinking and being excessive in our rationalisation, using too much logic in matters of the heart and pushing away, those we may want to have close, or because we just want to focus on work, we may burn out and we may ignore and miss good opportunities. And yes, always stay grounded, but sometimes we can give people a chance. I know getting over a broken heart is not easy, but Venus in Gemini wants us to be more open. Venus also makes a square to Saturn, so this can make it hard for us to open our hearts. It brings a sense of realism and maturity to our relationships at this time. So it's good for sorting out our commitments, bringing stability into our relationships and having more long-term planning in the matters of love and finance. But negatively, we can just feel more restricted and sucked down and cold emotionally. Because of this, we can just have a fear of rejection and feelings of feeling scared. There could be delayed in romantic plans, and we can navigate the obstacles with patience and more perseverance to avoid the pitfalls of Venus in Gemini and Venus's square to Saturn, and the negative energy that it brings, and just use the positive energies of being real and being mature and allowing yourself to be open to commitment. Venus also makes a semi-sextile to Uranus, so this brings excitement, spontaneous events to our life, allows us to embrace change and new experiences in our social life, but it can lead to unpredictability and instability, and it can make us kind of like just be inflexible. Venus makes a biquintile to Pluto, so this is subtle energy, but it helps us with feeling things more deeply, being more intense, and allowing ourselves to transform and feel empowered in our relationships and just to get deep in our relationships. But negatively, it can add to the power struggles and possessiveness and too much fun and not enough responsibility as well, and lead to control issues or manipulation as well. Venus also makes a sextile to Chiron, so this promotes healing in our relationship, bringing us lots of compassion, empathy, sensitivity, and just allowing us to understand ourselves and others, so this is really good. But negatively, it can just make us feel overwhelmed with our own and other people's emotional issues right now, and we may find it hard, or we may find that we need to go back in our past to find closure on something or some things we haven't got closure on yet, so that we can feel more complete on our emotional, psychological and spiritual integration journeys, just feeling more whole. Venus also makes a quintile to the moon's north node, so again this helps us have positive and meaningful conversations, supports our growth and evolution. It can make us just feel like whatever happens now is meant to happen, giving us a deeper sense of purpose and willingness to go through the tension and tough times in relationships, and the power struggles to get to the good. But negatively, we can feel conflicted between what feels fated, our destiny, and the realism that Venus square Saturn brings about the practicalities of our everyday relationships. Maybe like, oh no, we can't do this, people like me don't do that, sort of thing. So this energy wants us to balance destiny with personal choice, which may require you to self-reflect and go deep within yourself and heal anything that says that you don't deserve what you really desire. And of course, we need to temper our desires with practicality, of course, but sometimes we can be too practical, and sometimes we just need a bit of magic. And Venus in Gemini allows us to have this flirty, openness, curious, grounded logic, because remember, Venus rules Taurus, so it's earth energy, so we can achieve that balance that's needed to use logic in a balanced way with our intuition to be open to romance at this time. Also, at the time of Venus going in Gemini, there's a stellium involving the Sun, Mercury and Taurus with a 22% orb. So a stellium in astrology refers to a powerful cluster of planets that are closely grouped together in the same sign, house or degree orb. So if a planet's in the 29th degree of Gemini, and then we've got one planet in the 7th degree of Cancer, because those planets, let's say Venus in the 29th degree of Gemini and Saturn in the 7th degree of Cancer, they can still be in a stellium because they are within a degree orb range, and that's how stellium can happen when one planet's in one sign and another's in another sign. That's because they're still within that 10-degree conjunction range that we need for stellium. So stellium can have positive and negative implications, like all things in life and astrology. So positively, stellium increases the traits associated with the planets involved, the degree orbs involved, or the house involved, creating a strong focus on those specific areas of our lives. It can signify intense determination, creativity, and give a deep sense of purpose in pursuing our goals, going after what we want. Negatively, it can bring challenges, a lot of challenges. It can amplify the negatives of all the planets, houses, or degree orbs involved, leading to an overwhelming amount of energy in these areas, and this can cause stress because of the imbalance of too much of one energy surging on you, and so we may feel more pressure to live up to high expectations, or struggle with integrating the different energies represented by the planets within a transiting stellium. So in the case of the transiting stellium involving the Sun and Mercury in Taurus and Venus in Gemini within the 22% orb, there can be a blend of Taurian stability and a more practical approach, and Gemini's versatility and curiosity with Venus being in Gemini. So this allows us to be more grounded and reliable in our communication, and we really need this, and although we can be more grounded, we can also be more curious and flexible at the same time, so balance is key, and we can just express more creativity in expressing our affection and forming connections with others, so using poetry, dance and stuff to express our emotions to our committed partner or someone we're trying to be with, sort of thing. But with all that being said, there can be a challenge to finding this balance that's needed between Taurus's desire for stability and Gemini's need for variety and change. So, it's essential to do your best to embrace both energies to make the most of this transit. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the karma of Venus in Gemini. So, past life experiences where we may have struggled with expressing our emotions or maintaining harmonious connections with others can come to the forefront of our minds right now, or in our dreams, whether you're consciously or subconsciously involved with your intuitive dream life, So lifetimes where we may have been overly intellectual or superficial in our approach to love, where we may have seek too much variety and novelty without truly establishing deep emotional bonds with others. For some of you, it may bring memories of deep intellectual connections or partnerships based on communication and shared ideas. Others may recall past lives where you had to adapt and be versatile in relationships, learning valuable lessons in flexibility and compromise. The transit of Venus in Gemini may also reveal past life connections characterized by useful and playful energies where joy and being spontaneous played a significant role. So it may not, be past lives for some of you. It may be earlier in your life before, you got your heart broken, and not to laugh, because I've had my heart broken too, so I know it's not always fun and games, especially when it's new and fresh. But this energy wants us to, just remember the times when we allowed ourselves to be happy, especially in terms of romance, and if we never have, maybe inviting these energies into our life, learning how to communicate more effectively in relationships and with our own thoughts and ideas and the different aspects of ourselves, so we can become more integrated and love ourselves on all levels, and this is how we can invite the love of others into our lives. And so Venus in Gemini wants us to cultivate, develop more sincere and heartfelt connections and express our emotions more authentically and actively listen to others while they, talk to us. And through learning these lessons, we can evolve from superficial interactions to experiencing love that is grounded in genuine emotional connection and understanding, not rushing, as we've all been guilty of, making ourselves go slow and steady. Yeah, speeding up things, Venus in Gemini, but in a grounded way, right? And making sure that above all, it's not just based on superficial attraction, it's built on a genuine connection, a genuine one, whatever that may mean to you, So ultimately, Venus in Gemini on the karmic level emphasizes the power of being flexible in our relationships, wants us to be more open-minded and flexible when it comes to love and connections, and by exploring different forms of communication and being receptive to new ideas, we can expand our understanding of relationships. So yeah, all in all, karmically, Venus in Gemini highlights the importance of intellectual stimulation and mental compatibility in relationships, and compatibility overall in relationships. It encourages us to seek out stimulating conversations and engage in activities that promote deeper connection. Additionally, it teaches us the significance of keeping a youthful and playful spirit alive within ourselves and our relationships, and how doing this can bring a sense of joy and excitement and us being spontaneous even when there is chaos. Yes, the world is chaos, but we can still have fun, right? So now I'm just going to talk about how Venus in Gemini affects our relationships more. So in terms of family relationships, it can help us be more open and honest with our family members, but we can be too superficial and our interactions with them can lack emotional depth right now, which can lead to misunderstandings or conflicts. So just make sure you gain clarity. If you don't understand what a family member is saying, or they don't understand you, be prepared to break things down and listen and ask them to re-say stuff so that everyone knows where they're going. In terms of friendship, it's the same. You can have more deeper conversations, sharing of ideas, and increase social activities and strengthen the connection. But gossip and inconsistency in friendships at this time can lead to superficial connections and scattered focus and lack of friendship for some of your direction. So in terms of co-worker relationships, it can improve teamwork. People can be more creative together, especially in idea sharing, and this can lead to innovative solutions and a more balanced and harmonious work environment. But negatively, there can be a lot of miscommunication or a lack of follow through on tasks. So people can be like, yeah, I'll do this, but people forget to do it, and this can lead to scattered energy or changing priorities, and this can lead to fallout. So don't promise things that you can't deliver in the workplace, and try and be forgiving. Assert your boundaries, say, this ain't acceptable, but also be forgiving, and if it's someone that keeps on doing this, maybe you have to look into deeper ways to solve the problem of them making promises and not following through on their half of the teamwork in the workplace. So in terms of committed relationships, it encourages people to do new things together, communicate more openly, and explore different aspects of their connection. But negatively, there can be a risk of boredom, and restlessness can creep in if partners struggle to maintain the spark and depth in their relationships. So it's important to actively nurture emotional intimacy and engage in meaningful conversations to counteract any tendency towards shallowness or lack of focus when Venus is in Gemini. In terms of hookup connections, it can make us more playful. It encourages us to be more open in our communication and have more fun activities with others, and just be more carefree, enjoy the present moment without expectations. But negatively, there can be the risk of mixed signals, and this can lead to confusion about intentions, and this can lead to misunderstandings and lack of clarity and boundaries in hookup connections. So it's important to set your boundaries, gain consent, and communicate openly and honestly with your hookup partners right now. In terms of self-partner relationships, it can inspire you to explore different aspects of yourselves, embrace your versatility, engage in activities that stimulate your curiosity. It encourages self-discovery and learning and growth on a personal level. But negatively, it can lead to scattered or indecisive thoughts about your own goals and your attempts at self-improvement. You may find yourself jumping from one interest to another without fully committing or achieving depth in any particular area. But negatively, in terms of career development, Venus in Gemini can result in missed chances for deepening relationships or committing to long-term projects. So don't let your superficiality run away with you in your career. Work with others. Don't promise too much, or don't promise what you can't deliver. In terms of personal development, it allows us to be more curious, but it can lead us to be inconsistent in our attempts of personal development right now. So we just have to, watch out for that and just make sure we stay focused. And just focus on doing meaningful things to aid your personal growth and your relationship growth, and make meaningful connections, even if it's just understanding yourself on a deeper level. For some of you, it may not be a relationship, it may be focusing and building a solid relationship with all the different aspects of your own personality. In terms of spiritual development, it allows us and encourages us to explore different beliefs, as I said, and to broaden our spiritual awareness and beliefs, but we can become too scattered in our spiritual seeking, dabbling superficially in various practices without committing to deepening our understanding or connecting to higher truths as well. So, enjoy, be curious, but make sure you don't dabble with things that you don't understand, because sometimes we open a Pandora's box that can be hard to close. So it's always best to just work at your own range of development instead of competing with others and thinking, I've got to keep up with this or that person. No, everyone's journey is unique. Some of us hear it, some of us taught us, through it, take the slow route. And as a proud tortoise, I appreciate it's the way that I had to learn. Some people learned a lot quicker, of course, but this is life. We all learn in our different ways. So in terms of educational development, it allows us, pushes us to gain new skills, especially communication skills, and to learn with others through socialising and creative thinking and being flexible. But negatively, we can jump from one subject to another without digging deep into any particular area, and this can result in a lack of mastery or expertise right now and get in the way of substantial educational growth and development. Our superficial seeking can hinder our long-term memory and long-term goals right now, but it's all a learning curve. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the best things for creative professionals, entrepreneurs, alternative healers and singles to do, and self-partnered people to do when Venus is in Gemini. So creatives, it's a good time to explore different mediums, and you may find inspiration by attending workshops, art exhibitions, networking events, and just things that get you thinking and suit your own temperament. Professionals may find themselves networking with those in your industry or different industries, seeking out new opportunities for professional growth. It allows us to pitch new ideas at work, or go for that promotion, or go for that new job as well. Entrepreneurs can work with others, update your social media presence to attract new clients or customers, and explore innovative marketing strategies that focus on clear and persuasive communication. Alternative healers can offer a wide range of services to clients, continuing their own education, attending healing workshops or other seminars that connect with your needs and temperament, and also network with other practitioners. Even if you think, oh no, I don't normally do that, I'm a sole practitioner, I get it, but you never know, you may find someone that you can really, really connect with and work with, and this can help you to expand your knowledge. It's also a good time for alternative healers to revamp their online presence, so update your social media, make it more up to date and easy for people to access you everywhere. Communicate your unique healing methods more effectively through what you offer online. Lovers can engage in fun and light-hearted activities and explore new ways to express their affection and appreciation, and just sharing experiences and having more intellectual conversations and being more spontaneous. And you just may find yourself more inclined to try new things together, and this can really, really be good for morale in the relationship. Singles can find themselves, engaging in more witty conversations, meeting new people and exploring different aspects of their personalities. The key is to stay open-minded and to be curious about others and embrace being spontaneous in your romantic interactions. And self-partnered individuals can use this time to focus on their self-expression, creativity and personal growth. Venus in Gemini encourages self-reflection and embracing your unique qualities and standing firm in your, self-awareness. And it's just a great energy to update your self-care routines, try out new hobbies and express yourself through writing, art and any other form of creative expression, So yeah, that's the end of this special on Venus transiting in Gemini. Take care and see you next time.